I think Prince Andrew was...
Hey, guys.
From what I can gather...
Hang on.
No, he just went there for the fun.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody would know.
Hey, guys. Here's some more.
And we're talking about Prince Andrew?
Yeah.
Tonight,
we're talking
and Jeffrey
about...
Epstein.
Yeah. And that is the news for today. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Come here.
We'll help with a hire car.
Flies now.
The situation is absolutely desperate. A new channel delivering BBC News on 9 now.
Breaking news out of Washington, the Justice Department just dropped a trove of new documents. The latest release of files is shocking in its size and its content.
These are the latest pictures of the man formerly known as Prince Andrew.
The Epstein files have been devastating for revealing seedy billionaires, entitlement and greed.
Oh, why can't I get this phone to stay up? There we go.
To show that Andrew was using the disgraced financier as a go-between to fix high-level meetings. The suggestion they both wanted to cash in.
Andrew was very easily hooked by Epstein. He was completely taken in, and the only person that really noticed was Prince Philip. Wise Prince
She's got a
Philip.
grey
He
nose.
said to his
Have a
son,
look at her face.
beware of seedy billionaires, because all they want is to be linked to a prince, and they're going to use you. And Andrew wasn't
so his
intelligent
dad.
enough to realise, how evil it all was. I don't think he actually thought about it. He just, this is Johnny.
Well, his dad warned
And
him.
didn't think about it. He actually didn't take on board that this was a man who'd been jailed for defiling young girls.
Shall just crawled under Nenny's shoe?
I was in New York when Jeffrey Epstein was first arrested for many, many charges of child prostitution. I'm a freelance journalist, and I was like, crikey, that is Ghislaine Maxwell's boyfriend. So obviously I then looked into that and covered that, and it was like, this is astonishing. Ultimately, he just did a sweetheart deal with the Florida prosecutors and served just 13 months in prison, and he was allowed out in the daytime. So very much at that point, Jeffrey Epstein was on my radar. In December 2010, I got a phone call from the News of the World saying, panic, we know Prince Andrew's in town. He's not working, we don't know what he's doing, and we don't know where he is. Can you try and find him? I thought that he might be staying was Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein owns the biggest private residence, 52 rooms in Manhattan. It's massive. But I also thought he wouldn't be stupid enough to actually go and stay with Jeffrey Epstein, considering he's just come out of prison, for basically paedophilia. As I approached Epstein's place, yes, there was the diplomatic protection squad. I was called men talking into their cufflinks.
What a dickhead.
All I knew was that somebody rather important was inside Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. So I called up the photographer Jay Donnelly. We sat outside in the freezing cold, in the car. On day one, we didn't see any signs of Andrew, but there was an awful lot of girls going in and out. And these girls were very, very young.
Wow.
One girl then flown in on literally from the airport from Russia. You could see even like the Aeroflot plane ticket on her luggage. And it's like, what is going on? Next day, Jay and I are back again. Suddenly, the front door opened, and out came Andrew with Jeffrey Epstein. It was like woof. It was so quick. Sort of took off in the car. Within seconds, we hit Central Park, and they turned right, which was against the traffic. So Jay, the photographer, just ran out with his camera equipment, ran into the park, being a brilliant photographer, and managed to get ahead of them, clamber up a rock, and take the most amazing set of photographs. It was incredible. I mean, at the time, it was like, we've got the picture. It's fantastic. I remember him showing me the pictures, and I didn't want to have my fingers anywhere near them for fear of deleting on the camera. I could have written the headline there, you know, the prince and the pervert, and it was like, God, how could Andrew be so stupid? It was the first and only proof at that point we had that there was a friendship between Jeffrey Epstein, you know, a convicted paedophile, and Prince Andrew. Now, if not for that picture, he would have carried on denying any sort of friendship. It's an incredibly important picture, and it was like the house of cards falling down.
Wow.
That is the moment, I think, that December day in 2010, you can kind of plot his downfall and what has subsequently happened to him over the next 16 years.
Here's
springs
Richard
from
again
that paparazzo
There's Richard.
photograph.
from the last
What do you think when you see
episode.
that photo?
I think it's two maniacal individuals.
We
who
haven't seen that. Okay, we haven't seen that
help
one
each other get
again.
what they want.
That's Virginia. She's Australian
Didn't
and
get
she
away with
got
everything.
abused
That they're
Okay.
above
by
society.
Prince Andrew
With that picture,
and Jeffrey Epstein.
Virginia
Oh my
Woolf
God, that
said,
is
like I
so
said,
bad.
I always said I would never talk. I cannot stand the idea that Jeffrey
I'm
Epstein
gonna
was
get
trying
some
to
more
rehabilitate
Coke.
himself by being seen with British
Hopefully the
royalty.
camera
So
doesn't
she told her
fall.
story.
I was trafficked to Prince Andrew.
How many times were you trafficked to him?
3
I know,
times.
but don't wet the bed tonight.
This is a real photo.
And that was the first time you met him?
And that's the very first time I met him.
Virginia said, you know, I was forced to sleep with Andrew in London, in New York, and obviously in the Caribbean, where Jeffrey Epstein owns an island.
The Duke of York has been named in court papers filed in the United States by Virginia Roberts.
Put your
He knows what he's done and he can attest to that.
Do you remember her?
I have no recollection of ever meeting her.
And then, of course, you know,
of course not.
2019, I'm back in London, and Andrew gives the car crash interview to Emily Maitlis, which I sat and watched. And it was like,
Pfizer, get out of the bed.
what is he saying?
She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat.
My whole position had been, I'm just asking the questions. My job is to ask the questions on behalf of the women who desperately need answers.
I was on terminal leave at the time from the Royal Navy, so therefore I was at home.
Why would you remember that so specifically? Why would you remember
Oh.
a Pizza Express birthday and being at home?
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do.
Pfizer!
I guess I just saw the holes, you know, the fabric
Pfizer!
kind of coming apart.
Do you regret that trip?
Yes.
Do you regret the whole friendship with Epstein?
No, still not.
His most extraordinary answer in that interview was Emily asked him, did he regret his association with Epstein? And he said, still not.
Oh my God,
Was
there's
the first
Catherine
few words, "Still
again.
not,"
We
because
have
of
all of the
wonderfully
characters
useful
from the
links
last
that
episode
Epstein
to this
wanted.
The people
episode.
that I met and the opportunities that I was given
BBC
to learn,
News. What's
um,
BBC?
either by
American
him
News.
or
Okay.
because of him were actually very useful.
It was disastrous. We know it was completely disastrous. We just said this man is a complete idiot.
Well, just days after giving what has been described as a car crash interview, the prince said that he would be stepping down from royal duties for the foreseeable future.
It meant that Prince Andrew's
What's that?
actions had started to damage the monarchy.
The Newsnight disaster, more than anything else he has ever done, showed you who Andrew was. It happened because he is
Oh my God.
so arrogant that he
I
thought
accidentally
he could sit
hit
there
my elbow
and say
on the
these
camera,
things and
but
not be
luckily
challenged
that
on them and
camera
not have it
only
unravel
did a
later.
wiggle like this.
His
not
Majesty the
fall
King
off
has today
the
initiated a
couch.
formal process to remove the style titles
just
and
said to
honours.
myself.
He will no longer be known as Prince Andrew. Instead, he will only be known as Andrew Mountbatten.
Where are you going?
This is
Yes.
full disgrace and pretty much
Honey
unprecedented.
No one
blanket.
could possibly have known how the story was going to unlock. Not for
Honey
him,
blanket.
not for the House of Windsor,
What are you doing?
and not indeed for the world at large.
The damage has been done. There are countries around the world, I imagine even Australia, who think, is the royal family fit for purpose?
Who's at the door?
Get out. Come on.
Be big again.
The thing is,
Get off your bed.
you're not going to die tiny.
Oh,